Do you have a vision for your life, or do you feel like you're busy, going nowhere? Maybe it's time to get away from the noise. Maybe it's time for a mountaintop experience.
So a couple of weeks ago I went for a drive up the east coast of Queensland, and I come across a bit of bad weather, so I had to do a detour into central Queensland, and it led me out near Emerald to a national park called Blackdown Tablelands National Park. I had no idea what was there, and I ended up following a road to the national park, and it ended up leading me up a big steep mountain right up to the very top. I remember just coming to the very top, parking the car park and walking out to a platform and just noticing a sense of just peace and clarity coming upon me as I looked out onto the view of the vast landscape in front of me. Prior to that, I was unsure of the direction where I was heading myself personally, as well as the business that I have. But when I did reach that mountaintop, it was a moment where I received complete and total clarity in a direction that God wanted me to head in.
What a story from Chris. I wonder if you've had a time like that. So important to take some time out every now and again to look at our lives, just to pause from the busyness and gain a new perspective. Now, maybe the ultimate mountaintop experiences was recorded in the Bible, the Mount of Transfiguration. Jesus is there with Moses and Elijah. The voice of God speaks, tells Jesus that he's pleased with what he's doing. Imagine that. But of course, there comes the time where Jesus and his friends head down the mountain again, and straight away he's faced with problems, and Jesus is frustrated. What does he do? He does what he knows to. He takes the step. He sees the situation in front of him, and he doesn't pull back. He addresses it. I mean, it's going to be tough at times, but that doesn't mean we're on the wrong path. Jesus received clarity about where he's headed. And life isn't promised to be an easy one. A life following Jesus is no easier, often more difficult. But that doesn't mean it isn't fulfilling and it isn't packed with purpose. Jesus predicted his own death shortly after that time. So I wonder about you. Do you feel like your life is headed in a good direction? Do you feel like your life has meaning? If you were given the choice between a life of meaning and a life of comfort and ease, but really was without direction, which would you choose? It's a good question to consider. Is it time to slow things down for a bit? To get away and gain some perspective? Get up on a mountainside somewhere and spend some time alone with God. Ask him, God, what do you think of what I'm doing? And God, what do you have for me? Maybe you're back down on the ground. You've had that mountaintop experience. You've had a vision. But now things are tough. I want to just encourage you to keep going. Life is hard, but that doesn't mean it's not full of purpose.